Phenomenal morning, guys. Phenomenal morning. Phenomenal. Listen, as much as I want to scream, I'm not going to do it right now. Right? As much as I want to say phenomenal morning and just scream at the top of my lungs, I'm not going to do it right now. Why? Because I'm traveling, right? Pardon me for my absence yesterday, but I'm traveling. We always have to keep the speaking game going. Write that down, guys. Whatever you're into, be into it. Whatever you say you're about, be about that. Like you got to be about that life. If you're into the speaking life, then speakers speak, coaches coach, consultants consult. Don't just say you're something that you're actually not doing. Right. So again, guys, this is the Breakfast with the Brand. I'm your host, Sean Rais, as always, flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Bobby, did you guys miss me yesterday? I heard you guys did a great job.
We definitely did. We definitely did miss the presence of the great Sean Rais, but we did hold it down. We took care of the people, and the people took care of us. It was a great call.
Very good, very good. That's what's most important. I came on at the end of it. I caught the tail end of it. You guys were going real deep on different topics and all that. I actually absolutely loved it. I think the people did as well. Guys, share this out. Share this out. Like, wake somebody up. Call somebody. Tell them they need to wake up, need to get up early. You either beat the sun up or the sun beats you up. And life will do the same. I promise you, like, you're supposed to be getting it. You're supposed to be about that life. Like, if you're the same person in 2024 as you were in 2023, 2022, then the results are going to be the same too. Set some outstanding, insane goals. Goals that don't really make sense with where you are right now or who you are right now. You've got to do those things. I remember when I said I was going to be a speaker, my life did not look like I was going to be a speaker. Trust me, my life did not look like I was going to be traveling all over the world, speaking, touching people from different industries and different nations and different nationalities, and have what we call an international consulting organization. It didn't look that way. I had to set the precedent. I had to set the precedent, set the goal, and then grow into that. So that's what I want you to think about today. Who am I going to grow into? What does it look like for me? And look at the ascent. Look at the growth. It doesn't take long, but you will not get it if you don't set the goal. That I can guarantee. This is going to be a phenomenal show, man. I'm excited. We'll be right back. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. I'm happy to be back. Let's grow. There's slow growth, and then there's scale. There's incremental growth, and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
All right, guys. So welcome back, right? So Bobby, listen, I just got to set the tone real quick, right? Again, as excited as I am, and as much as I would love to scream and be a little bit excited, like a little more excited, stand up and pound on the table for you guys. Listen, I'm in a resort and there's people in different bungalows or whatever, different rooms around me. And I have to be respectful. I want you to think, I want the future pace. I have to be respectful because I have to understand and always be mindful and grateful that my life is a vacation. These are the things that I get to do because I set the huge goals. I set the huge precedent. I put the massive discipline on myself. And I did the things that most people were not willing to do so that I could have the kind of life that most people will never enjoy. So the people around me are not working. They're not extremely excited. They're not as emphatic as I am right now. They're on vacation. So they're probably sleeping. And I don't want to wake them up, right? And I want you to think, what are you going to do that other people are not willing to do or don't know how to do so that you can become the person who has the kind of life that other people will not have or understand?
I wrote down as we were going over the break, don't get distracted, lock in, double down, and stay focused. Those things all came to me as I was just listening to you open up this morning and just feeling the tone. It's just one of those things like, what would life look like for you if you just don't get distracted? No matter how much things come your way, no matter how many things try to knock you off your rocker, lock in, double down, and stay focused, and just keep riding it out. One of the things that I'm committing myself to do that most people probably won't do is lead. Lead. Most people would look for the leader. You know, you've probably heard this before. You go in the room, and as you enter the room, you look for the leader. You look for the person that's going to say something for the first time, or someone that's going to stand up and start giving direction. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't do. So they tend to find themselves following direction instead, you know, and nothing wrong with following direction. But what if you have a direction for your life and it's not what you're being told to follow? What if you want to have your own opinion? What if you want to do something different? You know, so there's nothing wrong with starting somewhere and going to where you want to be and getting some direction. But I think that's one thing that I'm going to be doing throughout 2024 is leading at a higher level, leading to a higher degree.
Very good. Very good. You know, one thing that I had to learn early on, guys, is that in order to lead others, you have to lead yourself. It's the same thing with closing and sales, guys. In order to close someone else, you have to be closed. In order to excite someone else, you have to be excited. I was doing the last training we did in the leadership leverage. We were talking about transference of energy. The transference of energy. So sales, guys, right? Please write this down. Sales is a transference of energy. It's a transference of an emotion, a feeling. And the primary feeling that you're transferring during a sale is certainty. And if you're not certain, then no one else will be. You can't transfer that energy that you don't have. So if you want to transfer excitement, if you want to transfer inspiration, if you want to transfer convincing and confidence that they're going to be successful after they purchase from you, you have to be confident that they're going to be successful after purchasing from you. Because why? You are the result. You're the product of it. You're the phenomenal person who came from the phenomenal product, who produced the phenomenal product after the fact. So you know it's ethical and it's evidence-based. It's proven, and you're the face of it. If you're not the face of it, then you won't be able to sell a trace of it. All that stuff will be on your shelves, man, and you'll be wondering why nobody's buying. You'll be like, it's not a buyer's market. And trust me when I tell you, It is a buyer's market. You just have to be the person. If you have to ask yourself, why aren't they buying? I guarantee you it's an internal reason. There's an internal reason why it's not your external season. And if you want it to become your external season, if you want to do the things you want to do with who you want to do it for however long you want to do it, there's an internal reason that you have to find. You got to trip that wire, bro. You got to trip that wire. And the first thing, like, you got to trip your own wire.
Right.
Trip your own wire. A lot of times, Bobby, a lot of times we look for other people to motivate us, inspire us, and give us the cues. But watch this. I was telling my sales team today, because I'm still on sales training, guys. I love what I do, right? So I'm telling my sales team, I'm like, you got to get yourself excited.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get yourself excited. Don't think you're going to come to the sales call and become successful because you showed up. The world is showing up. The world is showing up. Look outside at 8 o'clock. I don't care where you are on the planet. The world is showing up. The cars are moving. People are going to show up to work. But that's not what makes people successful. People do not become successful because they're showing up. People become successful when they start growing up. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. People do not get successful because they're just showing up. The rest of the world shows up. Why aren't people successful? Because they're not growing up. They're not really the person. They're there. They're on the premises. But look at Luana. I love what Luana just said. I think Luana's in Arizona right now. She's up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's watching this right now. So if it's 7 o'clock like it is for me, it's 7 o'clock. But for Luana, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So she's showing up to a different degree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I told my sales team, I said, what makes me so excited right now is because I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:15, I was in the gym. 3:15, I was in the gym. Till 4 o'clock, 45 minutes, mandatory. Drank 2 of these bad boys in the gym. Half a gallon, done, down. Read, 10 minutes, praised, 10 minutes. Read 10 pages, praised 10 minutes. It's not what you see. It's what you don't see that are the keys to the success that we have. It's not what people see. People hear what they hear and they see what they see and they're like, oh, I got to do that. But then they wonder why it's not clicking. And it's not clicking. Joel, exactly, brother. Look, Joel says, show up, grow up, and blow up. It's not what you see. It's what you don't see. So when I have those intimate discussions, kind of like I'm having with you right now, I want you to understand what takes place behind the scenes, like what takes place behind the brand. That creates what you see. Don't get mesmerized by what you see. You see people speaking and you're like, oh, I got to speak. Don't just speak because you have a mouth. Do the work. Do the internal work.
Wow. One of those things that I think about with stealth, like the whole stealth wealth thing that I've been doing, is because that's the same thing with wealth. Like all the money that you're making is usually accumulated over time. It's like exponential compounding results are invisible rather. They're invisible and invincible. They're invisible because if you do the same thing, effective action over and over and over again, it starts to add up. And as it adds up, it creates this illusion, so to speak. It's an illusion to everybody else, but it's the hard work. It's the behind the scenes. It's the stealth work for the people that are doing it. So one thing that I would recommend to everybody watching this is, what is your stealth work? Because the stealth work makes the wealth work. What are you doing behind the scenes? What are you doing in obscurity? What don't people know that you do What don't they know about you that you do that really transforms how you perform? And that's crucial.
Transform how you perform. I love it. And so watch this, Bobby. Everybody works out when there's cameras on. Right? It's all right. Don't worry about it. Knock that off. Everybody works out when there's cameras on, guys. Don't they? If you had cameras on, wouldn't you wake up early? If you knew there was like what they call those reality TV shows? If there's a reality TV show and people are showing up with cameras at 5 o'clock in the morning, aren't you going to be wide awake to let them in? So why aren't you wide awake or ready regularly at 5 a.m. to let the blessings in? The blessings are there, guys. Somebody's getting it. Become disruptive, guys. Share this out. Share this out. Wake somebody up. Call somebody. Like, disrupt their morning and let them know that they need to be on the Breakfast with the Brand with you, because you're doing what you need to do. So in the future, you'll be able to do what you want to do. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. We'll be right back. Let's grow. In brand clarity, exactly what you're going to get is what it sounds like. Clarity for your brand. What is your color? What is your logo? What is your unique value proposition? Who are you speaking to? Why? How should you speak to them? How should I position myself? That's what you're going to learn in brand clarity. You need other people to have the same clarity on your brand that you do. But this is the gap. If you don't have clarity on your brand, then no one else is going to have clarity on your brand either. It's like messaging. In brand clarity, exactly what you're going to get is what it sounds like. Clarity for your brand. What is your color? What is your logo? What is your unique value proposition? Who are you speaking to? Why? How should you speak to them? How should I position myself? That's what you're going to learn in brand clarity. You need other people to have the same clarity on your brand that you do. But this is the gap. If you don't have clarity on your brand, then no one else is going to have clarity on your brand either. It's like messaging. Your message sounds clear to you, but is your end user receiving the value that you're trying to provide? I guarantee you that after you go through brand clarity, they will, and so will you. And that's how you'll scale your brand. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Sean Ra'is. I'm proud. I said Sean Ra'is. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys, so watch this. You probably saw me play that 2 times, right? I want you to understand how important brand clarity is. How important brand clarity is. So when I started my business, I said, this is who I'm going to be, not who I want to be. Big difference. I didn't say this is who I want to be. I said, this is who I'm going to be. So I set a never ending alarm on my phone. Never ending alarm. The never ending alarm is for 4 o'clock in the morning. And my goal was to beat that alarm every morning. My goal is never to hear the alarm, ever. I don't care what day it is. I don't care if I'm on vacation. I don't care what the time zone is. Watch this. My times don't change. My times don't change. So even if I'm in California, the alarm is the same because I'm on a regimen. What is your discipline level? What is your regimen? What did you swear to yourself that you were going to do? And are you staying true to it? Congruence is everything. Self-esteem and self-confidence come from self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment means you can say what you're going to do and then actually do what you say. Many people say what they're going to do. Most people don't do what they say. Bobby, you're on mute.
I know what that one is like a lot, because this is one of those interesting starts of the year. It's the third, and some people have already been hit with everything but the kitchen sink. It's like they said they were going to do ABC, and in 72 hours, 48 hours, they've been hit with everything from last year. And they're like, what? Wow. Why me? And I think that that's really a test of discipline sometimes, because I was in that boat. I was in that boat of just seeing all these different things falling apart one at a time. And I'm like, I can hold this all together, or I can just let it go. Hold it all together or just let it go. And sometimes you just have to hold it together. You have to hold it together as you're moving through. So as you're starting your new year and you're going through different things, and we're talking about the things behind the scenes, we're talking about keeping words and fulfillment. One thing that I like everyone to think about is, if you can keep to your word today, and you can just do that one day at a time, you can keep to your word for the month. You can keep to your word for the month, because what the Marine Corps does is they chop down the day. They chop the day down into very small, doable tasks. And if you can do that, then you can conquer the day. All you have to do is figure out, what do I need to do in these 15 minutes? And if you can own the 15 minutes, you can own the day.
You know, I used to tell my young people, right? Because young people, they're like little baby birds in the nest. So they're always opening their yip. They're always opening their mouth, or they're opening their hands, one or the other, right? They're always opening their mouth, or they're opening their hands. And this is what I tell my children as they got older. I said, listen, if you can't manage $5, you'll never be able to manage 50. So I would give them something and I would say, manage it. Manage it. You are the brand. You are the brand. Just watch the correlation here. I told my children, I said, listen, if you can't manage $5, then you'll never be able to manage 50. If you can't manage 50, you'll never be able to manage 500. Listen to me, my brand leaders. If you can't control your own mind, you'll never be able to influence the mind of anyone else. Ever. If you can't check your own discipline, then you'll never be able to check the discipline of anyone else. If you can't set a huge goal and fulfill it, then you will not be successful as a coach. Why? Because coaches help other people set huge goals and fulfill them. If you don't have discipline, you can't lead. There's requirements that are essential to your success, that are essential to you being the brand that you say you're going to be. So I want you to think about it. As a matter of fact, put it in the chat. What kind of brand are you going to be? Put it into the world. Put it into the atmosphere. That's another thing, too, about accountability. If you keep it to yourself, chances are you won't accomplish it. Because hopefully it's not going to be easy. So if you keep it to yourself, you're not going to accomplish it. When you set aggressive goals, and you let other people know. That's when it becomes huge. When I tell Bobby, hey Bobby, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Now someone can hold me accountable. When Bobby says to me, Sean, you know what? We did 400% revenue increase. Next year, we're going to do 750. That's the goal. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold Bobby to that. I'm going to say, how many people did you call today? He's going to say 5. I'm going to say, why not 10? Why not 20? What is it going to take for you to hit 750? Because you probably called 5 last week and last year. So if you called 5 last year and you hit 400%, then you probably need to hit 5 on 10 or 15 to hit 750. Let's see some of these. Let's see some of these brands. Oh Lord. What do you got? Okay, good. Okay, we got true success is the mastery of self. That's a fact. That's a fact. This is a great topic. That's a fact. What is the brand that you're going to be? Put it out into the world, guys. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Let them know. You got to be present, guys. I'm showing up for you. You got to show up for you. How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, these are great, Coach. These are great. Active and dynamic.
Here's one. Active and dynamic accountability. You have to be in a community, guys. You got to be in a community where everybody keeps everybody on point. Here we go. Phenomenal speaker and CEO. Very good. So watch this. In order to do that, you have to speak and you have to lead. Must speak, must lead. Can't play the background. Can't be inhibited. Can't be shy. Can't be afraid to use your voice and direct people, because that's what leaders do. That's what CEOs do. CEOs direct the course, first of themselves, then of others.
Right. Man, this makes me think about the brand. I remember you asking about the core 4 last year. It's like, what do you do? What do you do? What are your core 4? And I remember us talking about intersections. What vertical do you dominate? And those things are extremely important because it takes me back to the military again. Like, many of you all might not be familiar with the term amphibious, but it simply means land and sea. Amphibious, like frogs, right? Like frogs. So that's an intersection for us. As a United States Marine, we're trained to be lethal on the land and we're trained to be lethal at the sea. And what I love about this, what brand do you represent? The Marine Corps is a brand. Like, when you see a Marine, you see the 0 to 3 gradually faded haircut. You see the slim individual. You see the war fighter. And that is the brand. And what happens is we attract more people like us. So the last point that I wanted to share with you guys is, if you are looking to, Sean put it to me like this, match your attire to your desire. But another way that you could do this that I've learned is simply match your energy and your execution to the ideal client that you want to attract as well. It's like the same thing. It works the same way. And I've learned that day in and day out. As the more I get better at my craft, the more confident I get, the more serious I become about what I want to do, who I want to serve, the more that brand gravitates that type of person to me. So it really is a subtle art of brand development and really leaning into who you are and attracting the people you want to work with.
Very good. Let me address Christopher. Phenomenal morning, brother. He says, I thought CEOs are the visionaries. You're correct. We are. And ensure to hire people smarter than them. I love this. I love this, guys. Pay very close attention to my answer, guys. Okay, so number 7s don't work. Number 10s don't work for number 7s, guys. I'll just be honest with you. Like, number 10s, 11s, and 12s don't work for numbers 4, 5, and 6. Leaders don't follow followers, guys. Leaders don't follow followers. So you're right. CEOs are the visionaries. And in order for you to direct others, you have to be able to direct yourself. In order for you to influence others, you have to be able to influence yourself. Right? So that's number 1. Number 2, you hire people who are more adept in other areas than you are. That's a fact. So for me, systems, hate them. Don't love them. Got no love for the, like, it's hard. Like I despise like the detail work. I'm on the big work. I don't like the detail work. However, if I did not understand detail work, then I would not have been able to influence or bring on the people who handle the systems in my business. The reason they're here is because I understood enough about systems to create a system that brought them in and attracted them to me and brought clients in. And I actually built a business because I know how to build systems. Now, is that my strong suit? Is that my strength suit? Is that where I really want to spend most of my time? No, it's not. So I spend my time in my passion and gift. But if you hire people and don't know what they're supposed to do, how will you know whether they're doing it wrong or right?
Oh, that's so good, because I said that's so good because I was in the same situation with my sales team this morning. So we were talking about setters, appointment setters. So in our space, there's a ton of work that needs to be done. There's a ton of people that need services and need help. And our job is to help them. So one of the ways you can help more people is by having more people out there looking for the people that need help, that need to be served. And that's the appointment setter's job. Their job is to comb through the inner spaces of the internet looking for people that you can serve. And if they find them, they bring them, they say, hey, do you have this problem? So on and so forth. But our team was like, why do we have to do it? Why do we have to do the appointment setter's job when we can just pay someone to do it? And I said to them, because we want to make sure that our system is so airtight, no one can tell us it doesn't work. That's why we do it. We do it so that when we give our system to someone else, they can't tell us that this system doesn't work. Because I can say, I've used it, you've used it, all three of us used it. We used this script, we got similar results. So if I'm employing you to execute on the script, there's no way you can tell me this doesn't work. And I think that's another aspect of knowing it for yourself.
And it's also leading by example. It's also leading by example and being the first one off the helicopter, the last one off the battleground. Again, guys, leaders don't follow followers. And this is why a lot of people have businesses and they don't grow it. They don't become successful past a certain point because they hire people who don't know what they're supposed to do and they don't know what the people they hire are supposed to do. Pay very close attention to that, guys. A lot of times as CEOs and as business owners, we try to hire out the work that we don't want to do. But that's not leadership. There's another word for that, and I won't use it. Let me say that's hiding. That's hiding from responsibility. We hire people to do the things that we don't want to do, and that's not leadership. Leadership is showing someone how to do it by example, being able to do it, and then growing your capacity and bringing someone in to fulfill that occupation while you go on to fulfill other occupations, not hire yourself out of active work. That's not the role of a CEO. The role of a CEO is to direct themselves, lead themselves so they can lead others and help others have phenomenal lives. And you can't do that if you don't have a phenomenal job role or a phenomenal role description. So it gets really granular. It starts with a huge vision and then it gets really, really granular to doing the right things. And I put something in the chat the other day about Nokia and the transference or the eradication of Nokia, the absorption of Nokia into Microsoft. Read that article because the CEO said we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. And theoretically, they didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't do enough of the right things. If they would have led a disruptive and innovative organization, and if the leader led people to become leaders like themselves, then everybody's looking for ways to grow the business. Everybody's fulfilled. Everybody's on it. Everybody's up at a certain time. Everybody's hitting it. Everybody's cracked. Everybody's inspired. Everybody's motivated. A lot of times that's not the case. Luana says, you may not know the technical nuances of what members of your team do, but you will know why they are doing it or why they are doing what they do and the intended outcome. Exactly. And you have to be able to execute it to a degree. So we have copywriters, but I wrote the copy with these fingers that exploded the business. Please understand, we have copywriters because copy is not the highest excellence for me right now. It's not the highest capacity. I'm traveling speaking. I can't speak and do copy at the same time. I can't grow in different areas if I'm doing all of the detail work. However, these fingers wrote the copy that exploded the business and brought everybody in. And I had to go get people to help to help stem the flow of people and help fulfill the orders for the business that we were growing. But the fingers that wrote the copy that brought them in, you're looking at them. So I know what the desired response is when someone does copy for me. Very important, because if you don't get this right, then you'll be paying people to do something you don't know whether you won't know whether they're doing it right or wrong. So when you don't get the results, but you have people you're paying, now what you're doing is losing money. And losing money is never the goal of the job. Tia says that part is crucial, to do the work first and source it out. Of course, you have to be the leader. You have to be the leader. Nobody wants to do what you're not willing to do. And nobody wants to follow a terrible leader either. Remember that you are the brand. Other people are not going to be the brand for you, because if you hire them and they become the brand, then you're no longer the brand. You are the brand. You do it first and then show others how to do it. That's the goal and the role of a competent CEO. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this so far. I'm excited. Okay, watch this. Let me explain. Let me give you an example, a concrete example. Who can tell me what I'm speaking about today? Who can tell me what I'm speaking about? I won't say where I am. I won't say who I'm speaking for. But who can tell me what I'm speaking about today? Put it in the chat. Okay, Christopher says he's enjoying it. Phenomenal. Joel's clapping his hands. Watch this. Joel's clapping his hands. Now watch this, guys. I promise you I didn't hit anybody on the back end. I said, who can tell me what I'm speaking about today? And watch the results. Boom. Travis. Boom. Lawana. Boom. Leadership. That's what I'm talking about today. Rhonda. Boom. Leadership. That's what I'm talking about today. That's what I'm always talking about, guys. And watch this. This is true too. Branding yourself. I am talking about branding yourself. But watch, what was the flagship course? What's the flagship course? Branded like a leader. So what am I talking about? Branding yourself as a leader. Look at Joel. Directly at myself. Leading. Wherever I speak, wherever I go, whenever you come to the Breakfast with the Brand, I don't care if we're speaking about the topic or the subtopic of sales, subtopic of influence, subtopic of persuasion, subtopic of marketing. We're going to be talking about leadership and branding you, because you are the brand. Brand you and not what you do. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. We'll be right back. I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Raiz. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
I said Sean Ra'is. I'm proud. That's Sean Ra'is. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Guys, listen, put some takeaways in the chat. I want to make sure everybody's paying attention. Everybody's energetic and electric. Like, put some takeaways in the chat. What are some primary takeaways from this call specifically? Let me know what your takeaways are. Leadership, branding you, being the brand, you are the brand you, not what you do. What are some takeaways? Bobby, what are your reflections?
My reflections are wrapped up really in the process of becoming. Like, when you decide that you are the brand, you're going to oftentimes get a vision of yourself. And this vision of yourself is going to be more luxurious, usually more well put together, more articulate, more confident. And what you'll find yourself doing is, as you aspire to become the person that you envision, you start adopting their habits. Even though they're not necessarily you, you're like, what would that person do if I was them? And then you start doing little things. So for me, I started learning, like, okay, if I was this type of person, would they go to sleep at this hour or that hour? So as I'm reflecting, I'm really just thinking about how setting the intention alone, like the intention alone and holding it with faith and confidence that you can become what you see it's a powerful thing. I remember Les Brown saying, sometimes when he didn't have the answer to a problem, he would ask himself this: what would I do if I did know the answer? What a hack is that? Like, I don't know the answer to a problem, but what if I did know the answer to the problem? What would I say to someone? And just really getting outside of one's own way, getting outside of our own thinking and getting into our own possibilities is what I've been thinking about. So as I read things like discipline is key. Discipline is required to be a great leader. Lead yourself. Leadership work must be done behind the scenes. Like, all of those things, I think, combined really create this. It creates a force, a lot like gravity, a lot like magnetism. It's the things that you can't see that have all the effect on everything around you. That's kind of what my reflections have led me to this morning.
Very good. Very good. So everybody's got it. Like everybody's got it. It's clicking. That's what it tells me, that it's clicking. And the force that Bobby was talking about, that force is called culture. That force, that energy is called culture. You want to create the culture. But speaking to Christopher, I remember Christopher, give me 1 second, let me bring him back up here. Okay, so Christopher Raymond Castro had a lot of questions about the CEO state, who the CEO is, what his jobs are, right? Let's bring him back up here. Process is the reward, not the goal, right? Process is the reward, the process, the part that nobody likes, the unsexy stuff that holds everything together. The process is the glue, guys. The process is the glue. That's who you are. That's the brand. Joel says, end state for me. All of the work breeds trust. Yes, sir. The consistency. I always say that consistency plus intensity equals invincibility. Everybody says they're going to start something great. And that most people do. They're like horses at the starting gate, Bobby. They're like horses at the starting gate. All of them look equal. Everybody's a leader until things get hard, guys. Please understand me. Like everybody's a leader until you got to catch a flight at 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's a leader until you got to work out for a month straight. Everybody's a leader until you got to drink a gallon of water. Like everybody's a leader until payments start to fail. But peacetime does not produce battle time leaders. Battle does. Battle produces battle time leaders. Peacetime produces peacetime leaders. And what happens when you're in peacetime and you're a leader who loves being in the peacetime and then war happens? This is why businesses go up and down. Because they were great in peacetime. Well, let's say this. Watch this perfect example, guys. They were great pre-pandemic. But then when the pandemic came, it washed them out. It washed them out. The resilient leaders, yes, sir. Watch this. Joe gets it. Better be able to adapt. The resilient leaders, or like Bobby was saying before, the amphibian leaders, were able to adapt and adopt new operating principles when the times and conditions called for them. They were flexible. They were able to move under pressure. I want you to test your own resilience. Do some things that you don't normally do today. Challenge some standards that you don't normally challenge. Set some higher standards for yourself today. Call some strangers today, people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Offer them your products. Sell something. Sell something. Offer someone something. Promote yourself. Build your business. If your business stays in your head, nothing's moving in the market. Stop thinking about it. Become proactive. Become proactive. Get out there and make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out there and make a difference today. Help someone. That's what I said first. I said, share this out. And I'm going to go back. How did they say, he watches what you do? Like I'm going to watch what you do. Because in the very beginning of this, I said, share this out. Help someone. Share this out. Help someone. I want to see who did it. I want to see who shared this out and who actually wants to help someone. Because if you're here because you know this kind of energy helps you. It helps you kickstart your business. It helps you get your mind right. It helps you start your day. Share this out so you can help someone else. Wow. Look what Luana says. You have to master riding the tsunamic waves of change. And waves of change are really waves of opportunity, guys. When things get harsh, that's the best time to build a business. When things look like they're down, that's the best time to invest. Be a bull in a bear market and a bear in a bull market. Agility and flexibility are key in the marketplace.
Yeah. I love being a bear in a bull market, being a bull in a bear market. I think it's really insightful, because that's what my transition out of the military kind of looked like. It looked like I was 12 years in, and most people would say just retire, because you're already 12 years in. So they're seeing, say, a bull market, so to speak. But I saw a bear market. I said, if I stay here and I retire, I might miss out on these opportunities that are, say, in the marketplace. So then I transitioned out of the military, and then I was the bull in the bear market. The pandemic had just hit, everything was down, everything was crazy. Everybody was saying to me, you should have just stayed in the military. There's nothing out here. Now you got to do all this stuff. But I was bullish in the bear market. And it was interesting because it was hard getting money, but we got it. It was hard to get the interest rates in a good space, but we got them. We did just about everything that you could do in a bear market to make good bullish decisions. And what ended up happening is we ended up getting the 400% revenue growth, which is what normally happens in a bull market after the recovery is over. So after the market recovers, you start getting these massive tailwind gains. And that's exactly what we saw. We got out when everybody thought that it was a bull market, but I was bullish or bearish, got out, then we hit it running. So I say all of that to say this: don't really get too concerned about what other people think about your situation. Dive into what you think about your situation. Like, what do you believe about where you are and what the opportunities are for you? Because especially as veterans, it's really, or service members, it's really easy to get caught up in what people think you should do, because the military track is so defined. It tells you exactly where to go, when you should get there, how long it should take you, how much you're going to make when you get there. It's really all laid out. And sometimes you just have to be willing to break the mold. And I think that goes for careers as well. You know, even if your career is all laid out for you, if you find that opportunity, lean in and break the mold.
Lean in and break the mold. Do not be afraid today. Push the barriers of resistance today. Push the barriers of resistance. When someone tells you no, tell them that's interesting. Why do you say no? Let me know more. What really takes place? Loop back, circle back to the beginning and find out more. Find out the reasons why. A no just means not yet. This is the Breakfast with the Brand, guys. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Same time, same place. Why? Because we're bulls in bear markets and bears in bull markets. Let's grow.